Okay, here we are back to the Pietro 24 bass, and my last job on this lovely accordion is to make some new shoulder straps, because these ones are just really tattered. Just ones I found just to put on so I could test it out. But what I'm going to do is make some new shoulder straps, and I'm going to show you how I go about doing that. So the first thing is you need a reference for how long you want your straps to be, because there will be some adjustability that you can make with the buckles, but what I try and do is make sure that they're going to fit me. So I'm quite big, quite tall and quite broad, so I need quite long straps. So first thing is put the accordion on with the straps that you know are the right length. So if I put these ones on like this, I'm happy with these straps. Maybe I'll make them maybe a touch longer. So yeah, I might make them an inch or two longer, actually, just a touch, but they're pretty much the right length. So what I'm going to do is take them off and use them as a reference. So let's just hoik these off, and I'll take them off. I'll just come back when I take them off. Okay, so I've got the straps. I'm going to measure how long these are. I've got my extra long ruler, so I'm going to go on there, make a mark, and then measure the last bit. So I'm going to add 2 centimeters on, just to make them a little bit longer than these ones. So that's 82 centimeters. Now both of these are the same length. So I'm going to cut 2 bits of leather, 82 centimeters long, and the leather I've got is this stuff here. It's 2mm thick and it's 20mm across. So that's going to be fine. So I'm going to measure this up and cut it. And to cut it, I've got myself a nice sharp pair of hairdressing scissors, because these are really sharp. So I'll just measure and cut that, and I'll show you when I've done that. Okay, where have we got to? I've cut the 2 lengths of this 20mm, 2mm thick leather, so that's great. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to measure the bit that goes into the buckle, into the little buckles at each end. So this is thinner leather, so I've got some thinner leather here, which is like this, and this is, I measure, I can't remember what I ordered now. What have we got? That's 12mm. So this is 12mm and 2mm thick. So what I'm going to do next is measure the length of the kind of thin strappy bit that goes into the buckle, and so I'll just measure that, and I'll cut some of those out as well. So I need 4 bits of this, because there's 2 for each strap. So I'm going to make it, I'm going to make it 27 millimeters, 27 centimeters, sorry. So I need to cut 4 lengths of 27. So I'll just do that and I'll show you. Okay, so that's great. So I've got my 4 lengths for the buckle bits of the straps. That's just a bit of spare there. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take off the old buckles, because I want to reuse those for the new straps, and these are perfectly good condition, nice and shiny, and it just saves them to buy new ones. And yeah, there's no reason why. It's just got a sharp knife, and I'm just going to cut through the leather. Here we are, just taking the buckles off. So I'm going to just take all the buckles off. I'll show you that when I've done those. Okay, So here we are, got me 4 buckles, so I can reuse those, and now I've just got all my leather ready for making some straps. Now because I want to make them nice and comfy, what I'm going to do, I'm going to stick some felt. Here, I've got my felt. Got some nice felt, and I'm going to stick that to the inside of the main leather bits. And if you look carefully at the leather, you often find that one side is shiny and the other side's a bit rougher, so you can have your good side and your kind of inside bit. So I'm going to make sure I stick that to the inside bit. So what I'm going to do is actually cut some of this felt to the right length and cut 2 bits, and then I'm going to glue that felt onto the leather with a cunning plan. So first of all, I've got my felt, and I just need to find the length. This is massive, this felt. Find the length that I need, and then I'm going to get my marker pen, and I'm just going to mark. So I'm going to make it a bit shorter than the actual strap, because I need to leave some part of it for this to be attached, and I don't want to be attaching it through the felt, so I'm going to actually make it just a tad shorter than the actual strap itself, because I've got to leave a little bit for the buckles to go on. So that should be okay. So I've just marked out how long I need it. I'm going to just cut out 4 lengths of this, just each a little bit wider than the leather. So I'll make it a little bit wider, so and I'm going to trim it later. So I'm just going to cut those out. I'll show you when I've done it. Okay, so I've cut out the felt. I'll just clear the table a little bit, and what I'm going to do now is put the thinner bits to one side. I don't need those for a sec, and I'm just going to put some glue onto the leather, stick the felt on top, and then I'm going to use some weight. I'm going to weight it all down to stick the felt onto the leather. So first I'll get some of this Turbo Tacky Glue, Eileen's Turbo Tacky Glue. Fantastic stuff. So let's get some of this on here. Need quite a bit. And I'm just going to make sure I've chosen the inside of the leather. Actually, I'm going to use my finger for this, because I remember now this is actually quicker and easier. So spread the glue, make sure you go right to the edges, because you don't want it coming off. Quite thick, and then you can always clean up any excess at the end. This is quite a thick glue anyway, so this is going to be really good. It's going to go on really nice. So a nice thick but even coating all the way along the leather. A bit more glue. This is brilliant stuff, this Eileen's Tacky Glue, just absolutely fantastic. You can use it for so many different applications on accordions. Once it's designed for working on accordions, so it's good for grill cloths, it's good for this kind of stuff, it's good for all kind of things. Right, there we go. So now I'm just going to get my length of felt, offer it up, making sure I just leave a little gap. So I just got to be quite careful now to get this in the right position, but hopefully I will. and I can trim the felt when it's all stuck. Actually, what I might do is just trim that end just a tiny bit long there, so I'm going to just trim that before I start to glue it. So that's that one. What I'm going to do the same thing for the other one, and I'll show you how I'm going to clamp it all together. Just give me a sec. Okay, so I've got the felt stuck onto leather, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get these nice and flat on my table. Make sure the table nice and clean. Put that down, put them next to each other, like that. And then I've got my cutting plan, which is my snooker case, which is just the perfect length. So I'm just going to put those two nice and close together, put my snooker case on the top, and just put some weight on the top of there. There we are. I'm just going to leave that for a few hours until I'm sure that I've got a good adhesion. In fact, I've got a few more weights here, so I might just add a bit more to the party. Put that one on there. That one on there. Can't do any harm. I'm going to leave that for a few hours, and that will hopefully then get a nice adhesive between the leather and the felt. Nice bit of sticking, and then once I've got that stuck, I'll then show you how I then attach the smaller bits of leather to make the buckle straps, if you like, and then trim the felt, and then should give me just a nice comfortable handmade leather strap. Okay, so I'll see you in a little bit while I'll just get this to dry. Okay, so I've just left this for quite a while with a nice bit of pressure on my snooker case. So I'll take the weights off, move down there for a second, bits of wood, move down there, snooker cue, obviously very important, bit of accordion fixing kit. And so what I've ended up with, here we go, so this looks really nice. So that's the felt and that's the leather. So it's really nice. I really like this. I think it looks really smart. So I think it's going to be nice straps. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my sharpest scissors and I'm going to just trim the felt so it's just flush with the leather. So I'm going to do that and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so nicely trimmed, that's all looking really nice, and I've left some unfelted bits of leather because that's where I'm going to be attaching my buckle bits of leather, so I don't want the felt there because it just adds extra thickness to get the rivets through. Don't need that. So I'm going to turn it over, and then next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to prepare the bits that thread through the buckle. So for doing this, what I need to do is get my little ruler, and I need to mark 2 holes which are 4 centimeters apart. So all I'm going to do is just on my little bit of leather, I'm going to start about 1 centimeter in, and I'm going to draw 2 crosses which are 4 centimeters apart. There we are, just mark them on the leather. So this is where my rivet holes are going to go. And then in between those 2 rivet holes, I'm going to do a 2 centimeter line right in the middle. And that is where I'm going to do a little slit. And that is where the little pin on the buckle is going to sit inside. It will become clear as I do this. So I'm just going to mark that with my pencil. Okay, so the next step is to get my leather hole punches, and I'm going to set those to the right size for the rivets. Now the rivets are in my little kit here, so I've just got a riveting kit. Very exciting, really riveting. That's good. Yeah, you can't get anything more exciting than a riveting kit, because it's just really exciting and riveting. So I'm going to choose some rivets. So let's go for I'm going to go for some chromy ones because they will match the buckles. So I'll just get those couple of rivets there. So what I'm going to do, I'll show you how I'm going to rivet it all together. So before I do that, I'm going to start to make some holes. So just checking what size I need. So I think I can get away with a smaller hole. So I've got my little hole punchers. So just first of all, where the rivets are going to go, it's the first hole, and then second hole. There we are. And just to make sure I've chosen the right size of hole punch, just going to make sure that these go through. Otherwise I'll just go one size bigger. So let's have a look. Oh, that's a nice fit, so I'm going to stay with them. So what I'm going to do now is make the same holes distance apart on the leather. So this is where I'm going to put the leather on the top, like so. And what I'm going to do is just go through the existing hole and then punch into the leather underneath. Make a mark. Same thing for the other one. There we go. So now I'm going to make the holes in this bit of leather as well. So here we go. One, two. There we are. That's done as well. Right, here we go. Now the last little bit, so I've got the two holes on here, on this one here, and I've drawn a 2 centimetre line right in the middle. So I'm going to get my sharp knife and I'm going to cut a 2 centimetre slot in between those two holes. Now you just got to be quite careful to get it straight, careful to get it in the middle. You need a really good craft knife for this because it is quite tough leather. There we are. So now I've made my little slot in there, and now it's just a question of riveting everything together. So I hope you can see this. So I'll just hold it like this. So I'm going to rivet that piece of leather on the top, and then it will come back around and then go through the buckle. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to other thing is that this bit of leather, which is going to go on top of this bit of leather here, you have to put this on upside down because it comes back on itself like so, and so you want the outside bit on the outside to be seen, so you actually put it on upside down on to there. Okay, right, so let's get this all joined. So I'm going to put the buckle onto the leather. Just push the pin through. There we are, like that, and then that just goes through the other side as well, like so. There we are. So that pin will then just sit like that. Okay, and all I've got to do next is put my rivets through these bits of leather. So I'm just going to push it through from the inside. Just push the first one through. Oh, these are a bit fiddly. So, especially with my fingers. I've got bike mechanics fingers. Come here. Oh my god. There we go. So I've pushed it all the way through, and then I'm going to push that all the way through the second layer, and I'm going to do the same thing for the other hole. So just get my rivets ready. Come here. Okay, so let's just get the second one in as well. Hopefully I'll get it in a bit quicker than the first one. Maybe not. There we go, push that through there. Push that through there. Right, and now it's time to do the riveting. So I'll put the other end. Before I do that, I'm going to put my earplugs in, because when I start hammering with loud noises I just get tinnitus, I get ringing in my ear. So I'm just going to put my earplugs in before I do this. So screw them in. I'm going to get my hammer. Nice. It's called Thor, made in England. It's got a hard copper side and a plastic side, so I'm going to use the hard side. Make sure I've got my earplugs in. And then all I'm going to do is get my little block, put the first rivet in place over that block, put the cover or the second part of the rivet on the top, like so. And then you get a special little punchy thing which looks like this, and all I'm going to do is punch down onto there and complete that riveting. So here we go, let's just get this one in. There we are. First one done, and I'll just put the second one on as well. As it is quite a riveting task. So. I'm just going to stop that for a second, we're just going to adjust some. Okay, so just ready to do the second one. So I'm just going to put my second half of the rivet on top of the bottom half. Get that lined up. Get it on the base. Give me a punch. So give that a good old tonk. There we go. Whoa, just dropped my thingy. So that's now in place. And so all I've got to do next, just pick up the things I've broken off, dropped off. All I'm going to do now is I'm just going to shape the end of this thinner part of the strap, because that's going to be the bit that kind of goes into the buckle. So I'll just get my sharp scissors and I'm just going to cut a nice point on there and try and make it symmetrical so it looks the part. And then the last thing, once I've cut that, is I'm just going to make some holes in this, so when I push it through the buckle, the holes will then catch on the little pin. So I'm going to think about where these holes are going to be. So I'm going to start my first hole about there, and then I'm going to put them at equidistance, so making sure I've got enough of the strap to go through the buckle properly. The first one there. And then I'm going to put 3 more, and I'm going to put them equidistant so I've got enough adjustment on my strap. Just another one, and the last one. There. Right, so here we are. That's my completed strap. I have one side of it anyway. So what will happen, that will just go through here, like so, and then you can choose whichever hole you like, and that bit then will just go under that one. Yep, and that's your buckle. So that's the way I'm going to make my accordion straps. I'm just going to put these buckles on just like that, and so I'm going to do it on both ends. So when I've done all of them, I'll show you what my finished accordion straps are like. Okay, thanks for watching. I'll be back in a sec. Okay, here we are. So here's my straps. Here's my straps. So I put the buckles on, and there's the felt on the back. So they're all looking nice. There we are. That's 2 together. There we are. So the last thing to do is to take these straps, put them onto the accordion, and see how they fit. So I'll just put them on and I'll show you what it all looks like. Okay, so the straps are on. There they are, all nicely fitted, looking tidy, looking a lot better than the old straps. And I just like the fact they got a little bit of felt on the inside, extra comfort, and just looks a little bit more kind of stylish. So let's pop it on. This is going to be the last little video now for this Pietro 24 bass, because I've kind of finished all the jobs on it now. I think I'm going to keep this one because I like it, and I put quite a lot of work into it. And so let's see if I can play a little tune just to finish off with. And thanks for watching, and look out for the next little series on my next accordion. I'm also going to do some little videos on my electric guitar project as well. Here we go, see what I can do here. they are. So thanks for watching, and see you on the next video. Hope this one was helpful. Okay, bye bye now.